Welcome Virgo to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 22nd of July for the ascendant, the sun or the moon. As the week begins, Mars has moved into the most prominent part of your chart, the 10th house. Over the next 6 weeks, you've got a glorious opportunity to raise your profile and be super dynamic. It also links in an inspirational way to Pluto, the planet of change. If you have felt a little dissatisfied, particularly around your professional situation, or closed in and felt a bit trapped, the chances are you may want to use the combination between those two influences to reflect on your options, but particularly professionally. Because as last week came to a close, the full moon, the second in succession in your sister Earth sign of Capricorn, does suggest that you may have reached some sort of crossroads. It could be professional, it could be personal, it could even be around a relationship, because the sun moves on Monday later in the day into the reflective 12th house, joining up with Venus and Mercury, your ruler. So you could be entering a period of time when you want to just step back a little bit. Let all the recent activities that have played out in your situation just settle on your senses. We all live in such a full-on way these days. Sometimes we do need to decompress, and that takes a little bit of time. We need the space to breathe, just rest. And if you do find yourself wanting to do something that's more to do with healing, personal development, check into a spa, have some pampering, then really do be open to this. But it's also the case that your ruler Mercury is in a very abrasive right angle with the restless energies of Uranus. So there could still be some information that's coming into the open, perhaps some revelations that you may find a little bit difficult. But just be assured that by Thursday, Mercury moves into your sign. That's going to help you to start to reconnect to what's really important to you. But because the sun goes opposite the deeply psychological Pluto on Tuesday, anything you are reflecting on, particularly around your work or some lifestyle choices, may feel like it's very powerful indeed. But the movement of Mercury into your sign is going to help you to start to regain your sense of equilibrium. Now Friday sees the wounded healer, Chiron, go into a retrograde. For you, that's in house 8. That's where you're most invested. It's where you're most connected. If you're wanting to disconnect from something, because remember, you've had Mars and Uranus last week in a furnace-like embrace in the 9th house, which has either propelled you into a new adventurous and independent new venture, or it's given you the desire to separate yourself from something that's just become too limiting. So what's going to happen with Chiron in its retrograde? I feel that you will do some soul searching through to the end of the year. The quarter moon at the end of this week repeats the energy of Mercury square to Uranus. The moon's in the sign of Taurus, which of course shares your earth triplicity, but for you that is about freedom. But the position of the sun is in the 12th house. That's to do with those tender energies. But the 9th house where the moon is can also be to do with truths. And whatever you're processing this week, or whatever you're hearing from other people, the chances are that it can feel very tender for you. It's very easy for you to amplify whatever information is coming in and feel a little on edge. But the big picture is that Mercury moving into your sign is the beginning of a new period that hasn't quite gained traction, because what you're being asked to do with all the energy at the start of this week in Leo, despite that very dominant position of Mars, is just give yourself permission to be sensitive, perhaps even vulnerable, but to work out, give yourself the space to work out what you really want to do next. It's been great being with you, but if you would like to have a one-to-one with me, a personal consultation, please check out my testimonials below. I don't edit these. I share them as is. Discover what other people have found working with me. If you would like to become a patron from $3 a month, I upload a lot of extra information. If you are already a Patreon, thank you so much for all your support. And if you would like to ascend beyond this zodiac forecast and embrace the power of more serious astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place, or date and place if you don't know your time, I can produce for you your life roadmap report. This will give you searing insights to the patterns that have played out in your life so far, but a much more intimate understanding of how to work with those energies future forwards. In my special package of 30% off, you can also get your 12 months transits. That's the moving planets in the sky interacting with your totally unique blueprint. Also, if you know your tropical astrology, but you'd like to discover your draconic astrology based on your soul, your karmic charts, please see below for that too. The same package, it can be very, very different to your natal chart, but very much an eye-opener. Have a great week. Thank you for joining me, and goodbye.